Brother Anansi and the Stolen Sun. The world was cold, empty. A hollow, endless night stretched from horizon to horizon, and the people lived in its shadow, skin bitten by wind, bellies gnawed by hunger. There were no seasons, no warmth, no dawn, only a dim, ghostly glow from 1,000 shivering stars, too distant to care. And yet, high above in the sky palace of Nyami, the sky god, there burned a thing so bright it could split the darkness like a blade. A ball of golden fire locked away in a great gourd, hoarded like a miser's last coin. Brother Anansi sat on his web, legs crossed, eyes narrowed. He was tired of night, tired of waiting. If Nyami would not share the sun, then Anansi would simply take it. A trick fit for a trickster. Stealing from gods was a delicate thing. Nyami had guards, of course, lesser spirits, wind breaths, things of whisper and warning. But Anansi didn't fear them. No, what worried him was the one beast that never slept. Owo the serpent, Nyami's most loyal creature. Owo was older than the rivers, heavier than mountains, and wise in the way of hunger. He could smell deceit before it was even spoken, hear a lie curling its way into the air. To slip past him would take more than mere words. So Anansi prepared. Deep in the roots of the world grew a tree that bore dream fruit, pale, sweet, and filled with sleep. Anansi plucked one, carved it open, and let the dreams inside breathe. Then, with hands clever as the wind, he wove a tale into the fruit's flesh, an irresistible story of feasts and fullness, of prey too slow and foolish to flee. Then he placed the fruit at the gates of Nyami's palace and waited. Owo found it, of course. He sniffed, his tongue flicking. The scent was rich, decadent. It smelled like victory, like a kill already won. Owo swallowed it whole. His great golden eyes fluttered, and then silence. The theft of fire. Anansi moved like a shadow, slipping past the coiled weight of the sleeping serpent. The gourd sat on a golden pedestal glowing from within, a sun in a cage. Anansi reached for it. The moment his fingers touched the gourd, the heat nearly seared his hands raw. But pain was a thing for slower creatures. He wrapped the gourd in silk, bound it in 1,000 silver strands, and ran. Nyami was not a patient god. The sky shook with his rage. The storm spirits howled, the wind clawed, the lightning struck. But Anansi had spent his life dodging things stronger than him. He darted through the heavens, the gourd swinging behind him like a second heart. He leapt from cloud to cloud, a thief in the open, the whole of the sky roaring after him. The storms were fast, but Anansi was faster. The breaking of the night. At last, Anansi reached the earth, but the spirits were closing in, their breath like cold iron on his back. He needed a place to hide, fast. A great baobab tree stood alone on the plains, its hollow trunk dark and deep. Without slowing, Anansi flung the gourd inside, diving in after it. The storms came, searched, tore at the land in their fury. But the baobab stood silent, and one by one the spirits gave up and fled back to their master. When the sky was quiet again, Anansi climbed the tree. He unwrapped the gourd and held it high. Then, with all the strength in his 8 legs, he threw it into the sky. The gourd cracked, and light exploded outward. The first sunrise burned through the darkness, splitting night apart like a wound. The land awoke, golden and sharp-edged. The rivers gleamed, the mountains stretched, the trees drank the light, and for the first time the people felt warmth on their skin. Far above, Nyami watched, his anger curling into something quieter. He could take the sun back, yes, but he would not. Instead, he made a rule. The sun could stay, but only if it rested each night. And so day and night were born. As for Anansi, he sat atop his baobab, grinning. He had stolen from the sky god himself and left the world better for it. And if every morning the golden strands of light stretched across the sky just so, like the threads of a spider's web, well, that was just a reminder that Brother Anansi was here first.